Oh My God Hey. As I get ready to head to the 2025 Edinburgh Festival Fringe later this week, I had the thrilling opportunity to chat with the artist behind one of my most anticipated shows. I am talking about none other than Tony Award-winning Broadway star Laura Benanti, who is bringing her show Laura Benanti, Nobody Cares, to the Edinburgh Fringe and then subsequently to London this summer. Here's what happened when she took the time to chat to me just after one of her final rehearsals before the first performance of her show at the Fringe.
I love you. We're all leaving my tech, so I'm saying goodbye to my people.
It's the collaboration of Fringe.
Yeah, it's Todd. Wait, Todd, come say hello. He saw your show.
Hi.
Hello. I thoroughly enjoyed your show last year. Loved it very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Very special.
We're having a blast. We're having a blast with this one.
Okay, enough
Cool.
enough about you. Goodbye.
I am very glad to be joined by two-time Tony Award winner Laura Benanti.
No, just one, baby. I'll take a second one, but in reality, it's just one time. It should have been two.
Did I just give you a second Tony Award?
You did, and I accept.
Which one did you want that I didn't, that you didn't have already?
Well, now I can't say that out loud, can I?
No, of course not. But you are getting ready for your Edinburgh Fringe Festival debut. Is this your first time at the Fringe in any kind of capacity?
I've never been here. We just finished my tech. I'm literally sitting outside our theater. Sorry if it's a little loud. I've never been to Fringe. I've never been to Scotland.
And how did this begin to come about? This is a show that you've done before in New York with Audible at the Minetta Lane. What made the decision to take it to Fringe? Who convinced you to do this?
Nobody convinced me. I convinced them. This is like a bucket list for me, doing the Fringe. And so the producers that I had been talking to in the States about, doing more of these shows around the US, they were like, would you ever want to do Fringe? And I was like, that's all I want to do. So I'm very excited that it's working out.
That's amazing. I mean, it's a huge privilege for everyone at the Edinburgh Fringe to have Broadway artistry of your caliber. No, it's a really terrific thing. And last year I saw Todd Almond's brilliant show, who has co-written the music for your show this year.
That's exactly right. Yeah, Todd and I, we've been friends for 20 years. He co-wrote the music with me. He's absolutely my creative collaborator. So I'm really, really excited to be doing it with him.
So the show is called Laura Benanti, Nobody Cares. Tell us a little bit more about the story you're going to be telling us this year at the Fringe with this show.
Well, people are singing. I have sort of like an unusual story in that, I began starring on Broadway when I was 18 years old. I played Maria in The Sound of Music, which is like a grown woman.
Yeah.
So I was a teenager playing a grown woman opposite a 70-year-old man. And so like when other kids were going to university to discover themselves, I went to work. And then I have like a very unusual life. I broke my neck on stage. I've been married 3 times. I got married when I was super young. So that's kind of an unusual, not everybody gets to get married 3 times, just like everybody, little girl dreams. And so I'm telling some of basically the some self-effacing, deeply humiliating stories to hopefully be a cautionary tale to young people. And then also I talk about motherhood. I talk about getting older as a woman, talk about childbirth. But mostly it's about like being a recovering people pleaser. Most of the decisions that I have made in my life, including getting married 3 times, were because I wanted someone to like me or didn't want to hurt someone's feelings or thought I should be doing something in a certain way for someone to approve of me. So it's like my journey from people pleaser to recovering people pleaser.
And you're going to have this experience with all sorts of audiences at the Edinburgh Fringe. Is that, coming from the stages of Broadway and performing in these huge spaces that you have, performing for Jerry Herman, performing for Stephen Sondheim, going then to the very different Edinburgh Fringe, is that thrilling? Is that terrifying? Is it both?
It's thrilling. I don't feel terrified. It's so funny. I don't feel nervous. I just feel excited. All I feel is excited. Today I got to walk around and hand out some of my flyers. And so many lovely people were like, I'm coming to see your show. I'm excited to see your show, which made me feel really good because I'm not necessarily a known entity here. So I've been curious as to what the audience will be. But I just feel excited. I love doing this show. It's my favorite thing I've done. And to do it in like an intimate venue and frankly not in the United States is a dream.
Yeah, excellent timing.
Yeah.
Do you have sort of plans when you aren't doing, and Fringe is, let me tell you, a marathon and not a sprint, but do you
Yeah.
envision getting to go and see a lot of other stuff when you're not doing your show? You plan to just soak up the whole experience?
I'd really love to see shows. Yeah. And my goal is to see at least a show a day.
Sure.
I have children, so we'll definitely be seeing some of the kids shows, but there's so many, like, the flyers alone today, I was like, I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that. So I'm really excited to dig into some theater. This is a theater nerd's dream.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like what I've always wanted.
And now you're brilliant artistry as well. So I'm very curious because I had a few questions about some of those moments in your career that you spoke about. I think Ben Brantley said if you had originated The Sound of Music as Maria, you would have been an overnight sensation. And then about 5 minutes later, you were basically, and you had this brilliant Broadway beginning with all of these exciting shows. And you've spoken about everything that happened during Into the Woods and with Injury. And I feel like 20 plus years later, we're just now getting to a moment where it feels like performers are now emboldened enough to feel like they can get injured and take time away and are allowed to have time off of shows. What do you think, having watched all of that happen over the last few months with like Megan Hilty and Death Becomes Her and Jessica Vosk in Hell's Kitchen?
Well, I mean, both of those women are my friends. So, like especially Jess, she ended up going to my surgeon for her neck, so I feel like COVID taught us that understudies are magic. I think if we learned anything from that time, it's that we are lucky to be seeing a Broadway show at all. And just because you're seeing someone's understudy doesn't mean they're not going to be good. I was an understudy, that was my first job ever. And like Ben Brantley said, so I just think they're like the unsung heroes of Broadway.
Yeah.
And I always feel excited when I'm going to see an understudy. Of course, you feel a little disappointed that the person you wanted to see isn't there, but you're going to discover someone new. And that's really exciting. It's been really gratifying to see this walk toward empathy. I think that like the show must go on mentality. It's that to an extent, but we're people. We have to be able to, bye guys, you're the best. We have to be able to be human beings.
Yeah.
And what I wish I had done was say, I'm too afraid to do that pratfall. But again, I was people pleasing. I didn't want anybody to think I was a baby or not strong. So I did a very dangerous thing that I should not have done. And, I got hurt incrementally. So I hurt my wrist, I hurt my rib. And I, in those moments, should have said, I need to stop doing this. And that's on me, frankly. It is the environment, it's the culture that I lived in. And then sort of the turning on me that happened once I had to leave the show, and the cruelty, frankly, of some people was really hurtful. I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
And to have that intense of an injury that young and have, my only dream was to be on Broadway. I didn't dream of being a TV star or movie star. I just wanted to be on Broadway. And I got that dream so early. And then 2 years later to feel like the community was like mad at me for being injured just was hard. It was really hard.
You're such an interesting talent, I think, because you combine tonally this classical world of all of these lovely soprano roles with a very contemporary sense of humor and a contemporary sensibility. I think there are few people who can sing the way you do, who are as funny as you are. Are there, I mean, when you were dreaming of Broadway, were those the roles that you were thinking of? And is there anything else on the soprano bucket list that you haven't yet crossed off because you've done so many of them?
I mean, honestly, Maria and the Sound of Music, Cinderella and Into the Woods, Louise and Gypsy, Amalia and She Loves Me, and then my number one of all was Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady. I feel like I'm leaving stuff out, but those were my dream roles. And so for me now, I'd love to play Fosca in Passion. I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And then I'd love to play Desiree in, excuse me, in Little Night Music.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I'd love to do Follies. I also would enjoy doing Follies, I think.
Who would you play in Follies?
Anything Sondheim.
Would you be a Phyllis in Follies or a Sally in Follies?
Phyllis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Phyllis.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be thinking about that for a considerable amount of time. Are there any shows
Yes, please.
currently? Yeah. Are there any shows running right now on Broadway? Obviously, you've opened more stuff than you have replaced traditionally, but is there anything that you sort of glance at out of the corner of your eye and like, I could replace in that? Is there anything you think even for a moment? I mean, there's some great roles in Death Becomes Her.
I know. I don't think I could sing like that. It is such a hard score. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know. But for me, it's like, I have these 2 kids. And so if I'm going to do something on Broadway, it needs to be really, really special.
Yeah.
And not for too long of a time, because for me, we live in New Jersey, so there's a commute involved as well. So by the time my daughter comes home from school, I would be leaving. And then you obviously do multiple shows in a weekend. So, I'm doing a TV show right now that shoots in Pittsburgh, and I see my children more doing that TV show than I would 8 shows a week.
Wow.
Because I fly home every weekend to be with them. Even though we'd be sleeping in the same house, we would be ships passing. And that's, just a decision, a choice that I'm making right now. But like, certainly if something absolutely magical came up, it would be a conversation I have with my husband, who's like the greatest person in the entire world.
Yeah. Well, we have plenty of time. There's like decades down the line, we can do night music, we can do Follies and Passion.
Yes, let's do all of these things. I got to give myself time. I got to stretch it out.
And you'll be ready I assume you already are.
Oh, she's ready.
Yeah. So many people now know you as the parody face of Melania Trump in this brilliant bit of joyous escapism entertainment that is also meaningful political advocacy at the same time, that is speaking out against all of the chaos and the nonsense and everything that is happening in a way that is also keeping us smiling and making us laugh. And that was with the Colbert Show originally?
Yes, you had a Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel now with everything that's just emerged about what's going on there?
Yeah, I am devastated for everyone that Stephen's show that the Late Show is gone, is going to be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an iconic show. I'm devastated for that group of people who've really become family to me. I think that, look, Stephen is going to be fine. He's brilliant.
Yeah. And
he's going to do a million more wonderful things, but it's just a real loss. And, I think it's hard. I'm trying to be a little careful with my words.
Yeah.
We are in a tricky place in America right now. We are at a precipice of what I consider dangerous, and starting to sort of silence artists is not great.
Well done to you for having been one of the many people using your voice and continuing to speak for the things that are important. Now, after you have this lovely, fantastic run at the Edinburgh Fringe, you're taking the show to London as well in like very early September?
Yes, September 2nd. September 2nd at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Yes.
And I'm really, really, really excited about it.
Yeah.
It's been my dream to do a show like this in London. So I just can't wait. I'm really, really excited.
Have you had the opportunity to do a London show before, like a transfer of anything that hasn't quite materialized or come together, or is this the first time this is happening?
I did a concert. I did like a musical theater like concert.
Yes.
At Cadogan.
No, you were right. Perfect the first time.
Yeah. Okay. I did it there at Cadogan Hall, which was a blast. But this is not musical theater. This is a comedy show with original music. And I think that's tricky for people who might come in expecting me to sing like The Sound of Music or something. I'm not doing that here. I'm singing a song with lyrics that literally say, "We don't want to see your dicks unless we say we do." So I'm going out on a limb here. There's swearing.
You're a nuanced artist. You are a multifaceted performer.
I mean, but I am a little bit nervous about people being like, "What?" So I want people to know going in, like, people under 16 should not see it. There's foul language. There's adults, material. So I do want people to know that coming in. this is not a musical.
Are you going to let your kids watch some recording of this when they get old enough, or absolutely not?
Yes, when
Uh-huh.
they're old enough, for sure. When
Uh-huh.
they're adults, you
Yeah.
know, and they can choose their own adventure, then yes, but not before then.
What is your greatest aspiration for how this show is going to make audiences at the Fringe feel and what it's going to leave people with?
I just want to make people laugh. I think this is one of the bleakest moments in human existence.
Yeah.
And I would love to make people laugh at me. I never punch down. I just punch straight back. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing nasty in this show. I want people to laugh, and I do want young people to maybe be able to take some wisdom from my people-pleasing stories. Because the majority of, I don't want to call them mistakes, but the majority of moments in my life that became really challenging are because I made decisions based on people pleasing.
Yeah.
So I would love for young people to get to hear those stories and take them in. And then, for parents, I talk about children and the challenges of that. So there's something, honestly, for everyone. I know it's kind of a gross way to say it, but the thing I love most is looking out into the audience and seeing how intergenerational it is. When I did it in New York, it was like, young women with their mothers and their mothers, like, husbands and wives, husbands and husbands, wives and wives. It was just, and of all ages over the age of 16. And everyone took something different from it. And, there were a lot of husbands and boyfriends who were dragged there who absolutely did not want to be there and made no bones about that after the show. They were like, I'd have to. And they're like Jersey. They're like, I got to tell you, I didn't want to be here. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Where I was like, wow. One guy, I talk about breastfeeding in the show. One guy was like, I got to be honest. The breastfeeding part was my favorite part. I didn't see it coming. And I was like, wow. And his wife was like, then messaged me on Instagram to say it like opened up conversation between them.
Wow.
So I want to make people laugh, but I also do want to make people think and feel. And I think I do accomplish that in 62 minutes to the best of my ability.
I'm excited to find out. I'm coming to see the show this weekend. I think I'm there on Saturday. Yeah.
Oh,
2nd.
please say hi. Please come back. Please say hi after.
I will. I absolutely will. But yeah, I can't wait to come and see the show. I have one final question because, as I mentioned before, you performed the music of some legendary composers for those legendary composers. Which was more nerve-wracking, performing Jerry Herman for Jerry Herman or performing Sondheim for Sondheim?
Sondheim.
Uh-huh.
I mean, hands down Sondheim. I auditioned for Into the Woods when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
And, he is my hero. I love musicals, but I love Sondheim. For me, he is it. He is like the pinnacle of what you can do telling a story through this art form.
Yeah.
And he was so incredible to me and continued to be incredible to me. I did a little night music at the LA Opera and he came to that and has just always been so supportive and complimentary and never anything but that. And yet every time I saw him, I was like, hello, it's a pleasure to see you, sir. Jerry is he was such like a mushy, sweet, he was just less intimidating to me.
Yeah.
Not that Stephen wasn't kind, because he's very kind, but
listen, it's being in the presence of legends, but you were fantastic in both of those performances. And
Arthur Lawrence, who directed Gypsy,
gave you a standing ovation for that Tony win.
I know. Yeah. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I feel, and Sheldon Harnick in She Loves Me. I've been really lucky to work with those brilliant people.
Yeah, that was a beautiful, but that recording of She Loves Me, thank goodness that was made and we can enjoy you. What a beautiful production that was. I don't know if you can see it just above my head. This is from the flea market. That's the little Marrachex. It was an opening night gift.
Yes.
Maybe the lighting team put together or the set team.
Yes, that's right. The set team. And is that our Gypsy poster behind you too? Our Gypsy playbill?
It's all happening back there. Have you had a chance to see this production of Gypsy on Broadway yet?
No, not yet. And I really, really want to. I had tickets and then I got sick.
Oh.
And then I got tickets again and then Audra was sick.
Oh.
And then I had to leave. So I don't think I'm going to get to see it.
Listen, there will be another Gypsy on Broadway in 8 to 10 years if forecasts are to be
believed. But I really wanted to see Audra and Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah. And of course, the young woman who plays gypsy who I'm so bad with names. I barely remember mine right
Joy
now.
Woods,
So
the
please
wonderful
forgive
Joy
me.
Woods.
Joy Woods. Yes. Thank you. I really wanted to see all of them.
I will let you enjoy the streets of Edinburgh, but thank you for taking the time to let us know about your show. Remind us where and when your show is going to be during the month of August.
So Underbelly, Bristow Square, specifically the Ermintrude Theater. I'll be there from tomorrow, which is July 30th, through August 24th. And my show is at 4:55 p.m.
Perfect. Lovely.
Yeah.
Go outside and get a drink in the lovely beer garden area outside.
Perfect.
There's food. The vibes are great. Lovely time. Lovely theatre. Have a lovely run. I can't wait to come and see.
Thank you. I'm so excited to meet you. Thank you so much for this.
No worries. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you so much for watching this interview. Thank you, of course, to Laura Benanti for taking the time to chat to me about her Fringe show. Don't forget to check it out this summer if you're in Edinburgh or in September in London. In the meantime, I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day. For 10 more seconds, I'm MickeyJoTheatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching. Have a stagey day. Subscribe!